When you're starting out, you kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. It took me 5 years to pay myself. Now, I'm not complaining. Sometimes I do. But what I decided to do was reinvest everything I made back into the business.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.
Terrell, you alluded earlier to the fact that that there was some generational wealth that you were able to use to further grow your family's businesses. And generational wealth is a big topic today because that's really the core of what is hurting the development of minority businesses. Can anybody speak to that? DeShawn, Lisa?
If I'm going by the question, how does that role play? I put it to like playing Monopoly, where and listen, whatever historical wealth, that's all great. You know what I mean? I'm not bashing
Understood.
that. You know what I mean? But it's like playing Monopoly, and I like the iron, so I'll just say I'm the iron. And the other person or other persons have been around the board 3 times. They own the red, Kentucky, all that, and they own the yellow, maybe even the green. And you haven't even rolled the dice yet. They pass go and everything else. And so but also coming with that generational wealth is access, right? Because it's generational, so they may have access to relationships that you don't have, or connections that you don't have. So that generational wealth is bigger than just the money thing. It plays a role. It plays a role like the Monopoly board, but also gives better access and privilege sometimes too. Whereas when you just starting out, I personally, it's a challenge. I think somebody mentioned welcoming challenges. I welcome the challenge, but when you're starting out, you kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul. It took me 5 years to pay myself. Now, I'm not complaining. Sometimes I do, but what I decided to do was reinvest everything I made back into the business, right? So I need a couple transactions, make a couple customers happy. I can get this iMac, right? And I did that starting in 2013. And so that's kind of the difference, the difference for me. You just had to, look, baby, let's pay the water bill. Let's give them half, right? I gotta go to Staples and get some folders or something like that, until you land that one big contract and things kind of go forward. So that's the difference to me.
Lisa, I assume this was a bit a problem for you because you have basically started with nothing.
Scrap. Because I got the old Master Tuxedo building and it needed 100% makeover. So, but I was willing to take that challenge when they told me to walk away, but needed everything. And so I just worked multiple jobs, and then the little bit of money that I got from different agencies and stuff, I made that work. But I made it panned out and made it work. I mean, you just got to figure it out if you want to make it, and you will. If you're really desperate and want that glory of what you've been working for, you can do it.
Did you receive any help from banks or other funding
Well,
sources?
I just did Valley Partners the other day. I go out pick up a check today, right? Dada helped me get some drywall and paint today. But no, I have a contract with them that I do theirs every year. And I have other commercial contracts. I did, 31, 32 yards. I think y'all make 32. But it'd be hard. You just got to do your landscaping, do your flowers, do your balloons, do what you got to do. And that's what I've been doing for 10 years.
How many hours a week do you work?
All day, 7 days a week. And then I take care of my terminal brother, too. So I make it work. It's hard, but it's worth it.
And you indicated that you hire at-risk kids
Yeah.
and also returning citizens?
I have some of my grandkids, and then I have other kids that have challenges, and they take all that anger and I make them work. I show them how to landscape. I show them how to do the mulching. I'm trying to teach them how to trim trees. They can't catch it yet, so I got to do it. But they be willing to learn. You got some that don't. You got some that just want to get out of trouble so they can be there. But then you got people coming out of jail that wants a second chance. I give them chances. But they got to be willing to want to work and do it themselves, though. but a lot of them do.
Generational wealth.
On anything. I know Terrell wanted to speak too, but I thought,
Oh, well, as far as generational wealth, I know nothing about that. I know nothing about that. I believe I do wish parents or grandparents, was able to set aside something like that. But I come up in an era where there was tragedies in the black households, as far as drugs and all that good stuff. So the ability to accumulate any type of generational wealth that wasn't even thought of. All we knew was about was work. So as I was opening my business, I probably started with $15,000 in the mall, and it definitely looked like it was only $15,000. Like, and when I look back at pictures now, I'm like, dang, I can't believe we opened the doors with with this, looking at that. But so that's always a challenge, I think, in a lot of businesses, especially barbers. I think we just go into barbering feeling like we can open this just because we can cut hair, and you definitely got to have a different plan and a passion for what you do, because making money behind the chair isn't always what it seems to be. You know what I mean? So even though you might have a great clientele, when you think about opening a full business, especially going into a place like the mall or something like that, and again, I like taking those challenges because somebody said it earlier. You might have said being a trailblazer. I like for people to look and see it can be done.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.